Homeschooling is an investment, and today we are breaking down the cost of using the Alveary curriculum. If you've been considering the Alveary and one of the reasons why you've been hesitant is the price point, I'm here to tell you that that also was a concern for me. And I'm going to break down the membership fees, book cost, supplies, and whether this Charlotte Mason-based program really is worth the expense. Hang tight. I'll be right back.
Just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Hi, I'm Sarah Ruth with Kindle Togetherness. Welcome back to my channel, or if you've never been here before, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Here at Kindle Togetherness, we share all things faith-filled adventures, faith-filled homemaking, and faith-filled learning. Today, you're joining me for my Sunday afternoon tea. I have gotten our school area, our breakfast room, wrapped up, ready for our term 3. So hard to believe that we are entering into term 3. We are plugging along right on schedule, right where I thought we would be, ready to wrap things up probably in early June. But I have been creating videos and many of you have been watching, asking questions. And today I'm going to talk about something that I didn't really think I'd ever touch on, but it's been much requested. So hopefully it's helpful to you. Also, last time I posted a video, I got quite a few questions about my tea. Last time I was drinking tea, I was having some chai that I mix up myself. Like I buy the spices and I blend it up. It's so yummy, and it's about the only way I really love chai tea. It's very pungent and strong. However, I wanted to share with you another tea that I do drink sometimes in the afternoons, especially if maybe like my stomach is not happy or I ate too big of a meal after church on a Sunday. Don't ask me how I know about these things. But this is from the Yogi brand of tea, and I did put a little drop of cream in mine and some honey today. But it is a turmeric, or I don't know how you say that, turmeric. I guess everybody pronounces it differently, but it's a turmeric honey chai, and it does come in a little bag. I really love it. It's delicious. It's a little gentler and not as strongly flavored as my favorite chai that I blend, but it's wonderfully light and comforting and soothing. I believe it has no caffeine, which is nice if you're drinking it in the evening or late afternoon and you're sensitive to that. So anyway, I thought I'd share. Not sponsored, not anything I get for free. I go to Ingles just like everybody else and buy it. All right, so moving on to our topic of the day, if you would go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to our channel so that you can get any new videos that I post, anything else of interest, and be notified. And also, after you watch this video or during, if you like what's going on, please take a second and like this video. I really do make an effort to go back to the videos and respond to your comments. I watch to see if there's conversation and dialogue happening, and hopefully you get answers to any questions that you have, either from me or from somebody else in the community. All right, so the Alveary. It is true that home education, a lot of people are like, oh, it's not that expensive. I think there are ways to do it on a budget. I think there are certainly, well, we do it on a budget. But I think for people who are pursuing a Charlotte Mason education, there is often a cost, and it's a financial one. And we have to think through that, think through what is best for our family, what we have the means to do. I would never pressure anybody to get a membership or purchase a curriculum when it's outside of their means. To me, our family lives on a pretty strict, tighter budget. We're not affluent. We don't have tons and tons of extra, but this is a priority. So, we have our mortgage, we have our utilities, we have our food, and then we have homeschool. It's kind of how it rolls. So this is something that we plan into our spending. But I want to talk specifically about the Alveary today, and I'll throw little tidbits of experience in there with other curriculums. And I'm going to also make suggestions for doing it differently from me. I'm going to explain to you what we've done this past year as we started with the Alveary, what we intend to do this coming year. And then also, if you don't have the budget that I do, or if you need to pare it down even more, some of my suggestions. But first and foremost, the Alveary is a membership. It is an annual membership. So you pay approximately $300 to join their annual membership, and you have access for about 18 months, although they don't roll everything out at once, and the lesson plans are pretty much available for about 13 months. They put them out in June, and then the following July, you lose access. So that is the first expenditure if you are using the Alveary. So you'll need to ask yourself, is it worth it to me to pay $300 to have access to these things for this limited amount of time? Now, there are some workarounds with that. Some people download the PDFs and nobody's taking the PDFs from you. So if you like working from PDFs and that, those details are important to you and you don't plan on continuing with the Alveary year after year, you just want to go back and use these materials with your other students, you certainly could. You do own those PDFs once you've downloaded them. Some of the benefits of having a membership is that the lesson plans and the schedules are organized and prepared for you. They are ready to use. They've used a panel of people, of experts that they interview, that they vet, that they make sure that, these people love the topics that they are producing plans for and are experts in these topics. So that's a huge benefit to having a membership, in that you're not doing it on your own, or it's not just one person creating a curriculum, but this is a group of people who are working together who are experts in different areas. Also, the Alveary has a lot of training and resources available for parents, many videos. They have something called The Hive, which is access to like a community online of like-minded people all using the Alveary. So that also is part of your membership. So when you pay for that membership, you get access to the book lists, to the variety of training, to the Hive, being able to communicate with other people using the curriculum. And Charlotte Mason said that education is an atmosphere, a discipline, and a life. And I do feel like investing in a curriculum that I feel good about and that I feel like I can use and, in my home, I can implement it well, really does enrich having an atmosphere and a discipline and a life of education happening in our days. So the main cost of any Charlotte Mason curriculum is going to be the cost of books. And there are some Charlotte Mason curriculums that are known for using much older texts, and a lot of times you can just view so many of those on archive.com. I will tell you the truth. I've never taught my children from archive.com. I am just an old soul, I guess, and I need books. I need the books in my hand. So budget-wise, that means I have to consider the fact that I'm now going to be purchasing whatever we're using. And with that in mind, I feel like there's a benefit to the Alveary because they have a good mixture of older books and newer books. So whereas some Charlotte Mason curriculums are really leaning hard into books that are often out of print and they see it as a benefit that you can get it for free at archive.com, I see that as not a benefit because I want to have these hard copies, so I'm then hunting down vintage copies of things. And as most of us know, that gets really expensive unless you get fortunate and find them at like thrift store or something like that. So for me, while I do think that the cost of books can be prohibitive, and I think you have to, like I said before, really consider your personal budget and like what is best for your family. For me, I'm building, because these are living books, because these are quality literature, things that I want to continue to have in my home for generations to come, things I want to pass down. I'm building a library. I don't just see this as I'm buying my children's curriculum for the year and I'm going to get rid of it. These are not reusable. I mean, these are not, I can't think of the word right now, but these are not expendable resources. These are not things that you're going to write in and throw away. I have a friend who is like, every time my kids finish their work for the week, they can rip out all the pages and burn it all. And I'm like, if my kids ripped out all the pages they did that week, they'd be ripping out pages of books. So that wouldn't work for our family. I would be horrified. But okay, let's just talk about the breakdown and the nitty gritty. How much did I spend for my 3 sons in our first year of the Alveary? So I had none of what the Alveary has used in the past. Like, there are places where they continue a book, or maybe like a younger sibling might actually use the same science book that the older sibling used. I don't have any of the Alveary things unless there was overlap in something I had previously used. We were starting from scratch. Now, I do have a lot of books in my home, and I did happen to find a couple. I even had to swap out a couple books because we had previously read them. Okay, but I have a 12-year-old right now, a 10-year-old, and an 8-year-old. When we started the year, they were in 2nd grade, 4th grade, 6th grade. I did not have to buy individual books for every child. My oldest 2 did combine in a couple places. But I looked at everything because you guys were asking this question, and I came up with a number for you. I believe supplies, membership, books, everything, we spent around $1,500. For some people, that just sounds insane. For somebody like me, who I've looked at My Father's World, and I've looked at Sunlight, and I've seen a variety of other curriculums, and I've been buying books for years to provide my kids with this robust, rich feast of an education, I felt like $1,500 was really reasonable to get everything that we got for the year. So when I'm talking about cost being around $1,500, I am also referring to, like, I bought clay for our handcraft and clay tools that we didn't have, and I bought air dry clay, and I purchased some watercolor palettes that we didn't have, and I purchased things for paper marbling, and so also handcraft and paper Sloyd materials, bone files. So there were certainly things in there that I think will translate to next year, like if we ever do clay modeling again, like, I have all the tools for that. I'll only need to buy the clay. For our paper Sloyd, which we continue on with, I only need to get the paper. I don't need bone files or the rulers or all those variety of things. So I did have to purchase our math curriculums. That's not included in the Alveary, so that's also included in my cost for the year. The curriculum we purchased isn't super expensive. I feel like I got all 3 boys math for like under $150. It might have been like $125. But in my opinion, it is worth it. Now, I do some things to cut costs. I did not buy every book new. Many of the books I was able to find on Thrift Books or Aid Books or Better World Books. These are all websites where you can look for books used, see their condition, and decide if it's a better deal. What I typically do is I print out the book list, and then I open up Amazon and I put all the books in my cart. And the reason why I do that is because as they sit in the cart, if the price goes up or down, I'm notified. So that's one benefit. The other benefit is I can compare the costs really easily between websites. So I'll go to Thrift Books and Aid Books, and I'll have multiple tabs open, and I can just go back into my Amazon cart and compare. Okay, because sometimes I've found Amazon really does have the lowest price. Even buying a used book would not save me money. Sometimes sometimes the used books are the best price. I've also, not often, but I did this year in one place, substitute a book. So we had a book here in my home that covered the same content as the book that the Alveary was recommending. And I thought, why not save myself $15 or $20 and go with the book that I already own? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not hard to plan out the pages and ask your student for a narration. So if it's a book you know, I highly recommend. And that's one way that you can save money. And so that's what I want to talk about next for just a couple minutes. I want to share with you some strategies to help you if $1,500 was like sticker shock for you and you're like, oh, the Alveary is just not for me. I want to talk to you about ways you can do the Alveary and not spend $1,500. So one thought is, getting as many books as possible from the library. There's no reason why a prudent mother would not be able to look at the term 1 books, contact their local library, and borrow them and recheck them out. And honestly, if you build a relationship with your librarians, most of the time, if you're like, we're using this book for a whole 3 months, they will help you with workarounds. If it's not a highly requested book, which typically these books are not because they're like Greek mythology and just obscure things that the typical family isn't looking at. Like our library in the past, I was able to keep checking a book out by them just like, they would even do it over the phone. They would return it for me and then check it right back out right away. It was so kind of them. But definitely using your local library is one option to cut costs and save money. Another one is get comfortable using archive.org. It's free. A lot of books are on there. You can use them. You could print them out on your own printer. The other option is looking for them on the Hive. So I saw that there is a way people resell books. And that's the other thing is on Facebook, there are several AO and Charlotte Mason resale groups. Go in there and use your book list and highlight as you find things and purchase them. So also regarding the handcrafts and the extra supplies, I have thought a lot about this because I do feel like that is a place where sometimes it can rack up really quickly. We happened to already have a lot of paintbrushes that were good quality. We happened to have some things in our home already, but if I had not, it definitely would have ramped up the cost. And I think in future years, we might hit that as a stumbling block in the handcraft area and the art area. But one thought that I had is, you don't have to do every art project and you don't have to buy every supply. You could choose to use, thrifted supplies that you find, or ask to borrow from a friend who's an artist, or request to do them in a group setting with other families and share the expense, split the cost. So you can get creative as a family and find ways to save money. So anyway, that is my breakdown of, is it worth it to join the Alveary? Is the expense worth it? I would say yes, but do your research, set a budget, and pray for wisdom as you decide if the Alveary is worth the cost and if you're ready to jump in. If this video was helpful, please like, subscribe, and share with other homeschool families. Also, comment below, what are your thoughts on the Alveary? Is it worth the cost for your family? Do you have any specific questions for me? What else do you want me to talk about? Hope this helps you make your decisions, and I look forward to talking to you another day.
Today's gonna be a good day.